I am on the longest win streak of my trading career. 61 green trading days in a row using a simple strategy that in today's video I'm going to break down that made me over $1,000 in cash money today in front of over 1,500 people. 700 W's. Small losses. Oh my gosh. Small losses and big wins, baby. You think I lost an old JDUN back? You thought, baby. Keep dreaming. My strategy is simple, it's effective, and it's not immune to losses. My first trade today was a loss for 25 points. My second trade today was a win that went over 100 points using simple risk management. Now, to start this video off, all I have to ask you is if you get value from this is you tap in, hit the subscribe button, and support your boy below. I have tons of free value, free education, and other ways for you to learn and for you to elevate your trading. Now, let's start with the loss, because on this channel, we talk about losses, we talk about the hard part. I tried to take longs around 520. My first out was at 529 NQ. I didn't end up taking any more. Now let's rewind that a little and talk about why we liked that zone. Now we look at our 4-hour chart here. As you can see, we had multiple failures of this 520, 530 area, not 5, excuse me. So you see this, multiple failures of this area. And what that also aligned with was we had a 4-hour demand level from this aggressive candle here with this impulse candle here to be our level of confluence for demand. So we break that down to the smaller time frames. And as you can see here, I see us coming down, slowing sold a bit on the second candle, but it was worth the risk reward that I try this bounce at 520, 525-ish. I was hoping to get a move back up midway through this candle up into 580, 590, this candle high at 610. Didn't work out. Had my stop set at 499, so about 25, 26 points worth of risk. And as you can see here, looking back, what I should have done, I don't want to say should have, but in my journal I should have went in a little less size at 520 area, ate the extra 20 points of risk down to 500 because that's a whole psych number, and I could see in the tape we had buyers sitting here. Kept my stop 20 points below that 500 at 480 because I typically like to put on 20, 25 points worth of risk, hoping to get 40, 50, 60 plus points a game, then leave runners for 100 plus. And I didn't do that. I choked. So I called my trade out live at 520. I took my stop at 499. I watched it sweep me down and rip up. Now, did I try to chase again? No. Did I make silly mistakes and oversize? Nope. What I did was I waited for this candle to form. We failed our 15-minute low area, as you can see a little lower here. Failed that. As we move back up, I enter shorts in here with stops above hard stops at 58 in case we get some aggressive candle. I want to protect my downside. And we enter the shorts in here again, same entry area as before, except for the short side, and we get an aggressive acceleration down from 520s all the way to the very low of 385. Now, I don't capture that whole entire move. Let's make that very clear. But the point is I had the composure and the discipline. That's my biggest edge for my students, for all my 1v1 students, for all my mentorship students. I tell them, your biggest edge isn't going to be your strategy. That's important. We got to know when to enter, when to exit. My biggest edge is that I am so disciplined with my entries and exits, and I manage my risk and I visualize my risk on every single trade that I take. That's the most important thing that I can do as a trader because I can read these charts very well. I know how to correlate the 4-hour to the 1-hour to the 5-minute to the 15-minute. I do that very well. I'm good at finding key levels, but I have the psychology to execute at my lower highs, at my higher lows, to spot my reversals, where to enter on those reversals, how much risk do I add to those reversals. All of these different metrics in our trading are massively, massively important. So in this particular trade, I see the failure to go higher. I see that we had a lot of sell orders in here. We pushed down. I know I have maximum about 30 points or so of risk, give or take. So I'm looking for 60 plus on this to make it 2R. 100 plus made it a 4R plus trade. 4R trade with a 1R loser. I started my day down $1,000 plus. Same size, ended up over $1,000 in profit. So I got back all my losses from the first trade and then ended green again for the 61st day in a row. That is because I am disciplined. I'm not some guru. I'm not saying I'm making 10K a day every day. But 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 plus a day, 10K a week of real hard cash money, that's a W for me. That is freedom for me. That's what I teach. That's what I preach. And that's what I execute. And you have to understand that as a trader in this game where 95% fail, 96% fail, whatever it is, base hits are what will get you paid out and what will keep you advancing through your game. You got to get disciplined. You got to have accountability. The one thing I work with traders most closely on is staying accountable and staying disciplined. If you can do those two things, a lot of times you know the plan you're supposed to be following. You know damn well exactly what you're supposed to be doing. It's a matter of making a plan, having a correct system to follow, and staying disciplined on that system every single day. If you can do those things, you have a much higher likelihood of success than the next person who won't stay accountable, who isn't willing to be coached, who isn't willing to adapt to market conditions. You do those things, you do what 99% of people won't do, and you're going to be in a great spot to catch these big moves. You know, again, if I can risk 20 to make 40 to 60, I'm profitable. If I can risk 30 to make 60 to 100, I'm profitable. If I would have lost both these trades today, I would have been fine with that. I would have taken a red day and gone about my day. The win streak would have been over and I would have came back ready to trade tomorrow, risk on. Had I lost 2 more trades, I'm coming back the next day. Still alive, still happily trading. A losing streak does not define me. I've been trading for 9 years now. What defines me is my ability to manage risk in those losing streaks. That's why I stay alive. That's why nearly going on a decade of experience, I'm still thriving every day. It's a matter of discipline, consistency, and hard work within that. Systemization. I know exactly what I'm going to look at every single day. I know exactly what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and what my inchworm looks like, my A game, B game, and C game. I know how I'm going to move that inchworm forward. And you have to know those strengths and those weaknesses and how your system operates if you want to keep continuing as a trader and if you want to stay alive. 1 payout's not going to cut it. 2 payouts aren't going to cut it. Heck, even making 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and then losing 7,000 ain't going to cut it because you're consistently giving back the winning trades with one massive loser because you can't control your risk. So a great plan going forward, if you're still watching this video, is make a list of non-negotiables for yourself. Become an if this, then that trader. If this happens, then I do that. If this happens, this should happen. That should happen. And when you get that discipline on a roll, your trading is running like a well-oiled machine. You get to a point where it becomes automatic and growth it's almost impossible to stop at that point. You just keep growing, keep getting better and more confident. So keep trading smart, keep trading safe. As a reminder, if you'd like to support, get mentored by me, or anything of the likes, tap that link below. I have a free training for you, and I'd love to see you learn, level up, and win. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.